I caught a video. It was the same night that I was reading that particular chapter, and I caught a video on YouTube, I believe, and it was a video of Lindsey Graham. So Lindsey Graham is an American senator from South Carolina or Georgia. I can't remember which. South Carolina, I think. Anyhow, he was. This was just after he voted. Remember when after January 6th happened, and he stood up. He stood up in the room, and he said, "I've had it. I can't go any further with this guy. He's gone too far. I'm done with him. This was unnecessary. This was unwanted." He was actually. It looked like just a fraction of a second there. It looked like he was standing up to Donald Trump. He was done with Trump. He was finished with Trump. Trump was awful in Graham's eyes. He's done this a couple of times, but this was the last time. And then he walked through an airport. And when he walked through an airport, he got yelled at. Oh, it was on Twitter. Excuse me, it was on Twitter. Ron Filipowski put it out there. This is why Republican senators are going to vote for Trump's nominees, even the ones they know are unfit and unstable, because they don't want to be Lindsey dealing with Mega in the airport on January 7th, 2001, after voting to certify the election. Excuse me, it was him voting to certify the election. But here's the thing. Watch this video, and he is getting yelled at over and over. They're calling him names. What do they say? Lindsey, get used to this. This is the rest of your life. They're letting him have it, right? They're letting him have it. He's got security walking him through the airport. Because Trump's fans are so angry. Trump's supporters are so angry at him that they are tearing a strip off him as he walks through that airport. I'm done with this guy. I'm voting. We're going to get certified this election, get it done with, get out of here. January 6th happened. Lindsey Graham was fed up. He was torn up. He did not want any more of this. Then he gets into the airport, and Trump's supporters let him have it. Right? So coming back to that whole silence thing. When you speak up against tyranny, it's going to strike back. That's what happens. That's just part of this. As I was watching this video, I thought about a Bible story. A Bible story popped into my brain. It's a fairly well-known story. I think we learned about it in Sunday school. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These are three Jewish guys, these three Israelites who had been taken captive by the Persians. When their country was taken, what Persia would do is they would go in and they would take all the valuable people and they would put them throughout their empire. And so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were three young men that the king, Nebuchadnezzar, decided he was going to use in his court. So these just wasn't three boys. These were three guys who were being taught the Persian way. They were being taught how to be rulers, how to be leaders. They were being taught everything they needed to be good, solid governors within the Persian Empire. They were going to be administrators. They were going to be professionals. They were going to be authorities within the Persian Empire under the guidance of the king, whoever the king may be. Now, Nebuchadnezzar, he put a rule out that I think it was a statue he put out in the square, and he said, "Yeah, whenever you walk past this statue, you got to bow down to it." Now, most people didn't have a problem with this. They would walk past this statue, they would get down, they would bow to it, and they would go on their way. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, again being Jewish, they don't bow to anyone but God. They just don't. So they would walk right past it. And some of the officials in the community, in the government, within the empire, they didn't like these three guys. They didn't actually like the Jewish people who were taking on these roles and being groomed for these roles. They were threatened by them. And, I guess probably like anything, like any other kind of hierarchy like that, you're always trying to put the next guy down. So they said, hey, these 3 guys don't bow to that statue. Let's tell Nebuchadnezzar. And so they went and they told Nebuchadnezzar, and Nebuchadnezzar said, you got to bow to the statue, guys. And they said, we can't bow to the statue. If we bow to the statue, God's going to be really upset with us. We follow God. God's the guy. God's the dude. God's the one we bow to, and only God. We will serve you, and we will serve you loyally, but do not ask us to bow to you like that. It's not our way. King says, well, you're going to bow or you're going in the furnace. And so they said, you can throw us in the furnace if you like, but God will be with us. God will be with us there. And so the story goes that Nebuchadnezzar had them thrown into the fiery furnace, and I believe he had it heated up 7 times what it's normally heated up. So they get this thing just scorching hot, right? Throw these guys in. And they wait. And they wait. There's no screaming, no roaring, no begging, no pleading, nothing like that. They wait and they wait and they wait. And the story goes, and they look inside, and the 3 guys are standing there with somebody else. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are safe from harm. They're not being burned. They're not being scorched. They're not being harmed at all. They're not suffering. They're not injured. They're certainly not burning. Again, this is one of those stories, I think, that the community, the Jewish community, would tell itself about the power of God. And it says that Nebuchadnezzar ordered these guys out, get them out of there. And so the 3 come out. The 4th doesn't come out, but the 3, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they do come out. And the king, as the story goes, sort of bows down to God, recognizes that the God of Israel is a great God. Why does this have anything to do with Lindsey Graham in an airport on January 7th being yelled at by Trump supporters after he voted to certify the election? It's the fire, right? It's the fire. It's the fiery furnace. Lindsey Graham walking through that airport was his fiery furnace moment. It was awful. All those voices yelling at him, putting him down, calling him names, telling him this torment is going to go on forever because of what you did to our boy. It was his fiery furnace, and well, he actually didn't survive it. His integrity, I'm done with this fella, that didn't survive. That went out the window, right? That's it. We've got to get back to law and order. No, that's gone too. That went out the window as well with the integrity. He didn't survive. His integrity didn't survive. He bowed the knee. Not to God, not to righteousness, not to the rule of law, not to the Constitution. He bowed his knee to that orange fella. Now today, so many years later, we see all these nominees for various cabinet positions. All these people who from the outlook, they don't look terribly qualified to run those departments in good ways. I did hear somebody say, no, they're perfectly qualified to do what Trump wants, which is to destroy those departments or to make sure that those departments are perfectly loyal to him. That's what he wants, and so he's going to put people in those positions that will ensure that those departments are loyal to him. That he won't ever have to face no from those departments, that he won't ever have to face any kind of uprising from those departments, that those departments will be loyal and they will do what he says as he says it as quickly as he wants it done. But to run those organizations well, these people that he's nominating aren't the guys. And there is a group of Republicans who are saying, we can't support this person. We're not going to support this person, and we're not going to support this person, and we're not going to support this person. You saw it with Matt Gaetz. You're seeing it a little bit with Pete Hegseth, right? You're seeing it with Kash Patel. These people, I can't support this person. They're not qualified to run this. They're dangerous if they're running this. And who is the Department of Education is the former CEO of the World Wrestling Entertainment. So here's, I guess I'm talking to the choir here. It just occurred to me I'm speaking to the choir. So for those Republican senators out there that are listening to me, just don't tell me none of them are listening to me. Just go with this. But for the Republican senators out there that are listening to me, hold to your integrity. Be people of integrity. Yes, the king is going to threaten you with the fiery furnace. Yes, the king is going to threaten you with punishment. Yes, the king is going to threaten you with prosecution. The king is going to threaten you threaten your lives, going to threaten the ruination of your lives, the ruination of your career, of everything, of your dreams, of your reputation. The king is going to threaten you because you're not bowing the knee to the king as the king demands it. You're not worshiping the king as the king wants to be worshipped. Do the right thing. Trust in the right thing. Serve who you are supposed to be serving. Serve your constituents, serve your country, serve your constitution. The divine God will be with you. I can't tell you that you're not going to experience any kind of injury. I can't tell you you're not going to experience any kind of harm. But be the people that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were. They would not bow the knee to the unrighteous. Amen.